Angry guy here, and men are on strike and refusing to date or marry. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers in our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. Men are on strike and refusing to date or marry. I came across this incredible video, and it basically illustrates what's happening in Western society right now. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the video, and then we'll talk more about it as we watch the video.
Here's the truth. Young guys are not dating, they're not entering the workforce, they're not moving out of their parents' house, they're not really engaging in society as much. We're seeing like people aren't getting their licenses, drunk driving's way down, which is a good thing, but it's just a general trend that like risk-taking, initiative, aggressive behavior from men is down. And I think it's something that is like a net negative on society and just humanity, because men are supposed to be kind of the aggressor, the people that take action in society and all that stuff. It's not good to have men that are kind of, you know, not going to college, not graduating, not working. It's not healthy, it's not natural, it's not really how we have gotten to where we are today in society. Society has kind of been built by go-getters and men who take initiative and go at life instead of letting life come at them. And I was hanging out with my uncle and my cousins over Christmas, and one of my uncles was asking me, like, why do you think this is the case? Why do you think so many young men are turning their back on society? And I kind of thought about it. I talked about this in a couple of my previous videos, but delaying gratification only makes sense if you believe in the underlying fabrics of society. And young men, at least a lot of young men, kind of realize how BS our society really is and how the future is very grim, especially for us, like young white guys. It doesn't make sense for us to work our butts off for a corporation that hates us and put our money in a 401k plan when we know that that money is going to be put into some, you know, black lesbian fund or something in the future. It's going to be taken away from us. And it doesn't really make sense for us to delay gratification in relationships because the curtain's been pulled back on a lot of relationship dynamics that our, I guess, older counterparts haven't really seen. A lot of millennials, good lord, I just had a stroke, and boomers, they kind of just took the blue pill on like romance and stuff, and media and just a general way society was. They kind of believed that love was just something where you find the one, you settle down, you end up happy. And Gen Z guys have seen the aftermath, the brutal reality of what marriage in the West and just, I guess, like romantic relationships without religion and tradition, what those kind of boil down to. Most women are going to have this grandiose, just like vision of what their life should be. And when it inevitably does not turn out like that, they blame their husband and they leave him or cheat on him with some guy at the firm they work at. And then they end up miserable and drink wine every night and have a couple cats and, you know, just do what they do. And we've seen how secular women can ruin a man's life so easily. We've seen money is fake for the most part. It can just be printed out and given to foreign countries, especially Israel and Ukraine lately. But we've just kind of noticed that, at least American, I'm kind of talking to American white young guys. I don't know if that's really what my audience on YouTube even is, but that's me. So I'm talking to like the previous me. Yeah, guys don't really see the point of delaying gratification and sacrificing and putting all the work in just to be screwed over. It doesn't really make sense for us to do that. So we'd rather just chill out, do what we like to do, hang out with homies here and there, play video games, smoke weed, maybe hook up with a girl here and there.
Now, guys, didn't I tell you about men walking away? Men walking away from Western society, relationships in Western society, focusing on themselves, their own happiness, leaving Western society to find their peace. I told you about this. I said this is men walking away. This is not the Migglypuff, movement, where that's basically separatism. That's gendered separatism. This is not Migglypuffism. This is men walking away from Western society and relationships in Western society. And as you can see, these men are choosing to avoid having relationships, to basically only work just enough to survive and thrive, but they're not going out, they're not getting married, they're not having children, they're not spending that money that's going to prop up the economy. And this is a very dangerous thing that's happened here. It's extremely dangerous. You see, the government is playing a very intriguing game right now, because if young men are not going out into society and creating wealth, then the government's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter, we'll just print the money and we'll tax it out of you. It doesn't work like that. You see, you can print as much money as you want to print, but if that money doesn't properly represent value that's being created in the economy, then it doesn't matter. The value of the money just deflates. So the money's value goes down and the cost of everything goes up. When we were children in school, maybe the Gen Z doesn't know about this, but Gen X knows about this, and supposedly the boomers would know about this. There was a story of a country. I don't know if it was a German country, it was Germany or a country that it took place a long time ago, and they basically said that, oh, we don't have enough money for everyone, so because people are too poor. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go and print as much money as we need. So they began printing more and more money and just handing out more and more money to everyone. And the more money they printed, the less valuable the money became, and people were literally carrying around bags of money to do things like buy a single loaf of bread, right? And if you look at what happened in Venezuela, we had a very similar outcome in Venezuela when the Bolivar's value went down. And what did they have to start doing over there? They basically literally had to start carrying around bags of money, when the Venezuelan economy collapsed because of the policies within that country. And this just should teach people, what the what the consequences are of these types of policies. And young men are realizing that there's really no future for them in Western society. You hear exactly what this young man said: a society that hates them. Like, this is what happened to young black men. I realize that now. What happened to black men in America? Black men felt like America hated them. They felt like they were hated in their country. They were hated in their communities. They were hated by their own people, by their own women. And what have these black men done? These young, educated black men have picked up and they've taken off and they've left Western society. They said, we're done with it. We are leaving, and they're leaving all of it behind. And you can see that there are a lot of black women on on social media that are literally going ballistic now, and they're too arrogant to ever admit that they are wrong and that they need black men. But they are making videos like, oh, I love black men, but black men don't love me. And they're throwing all this shade and anger towards black men, when in reality, that's Tyrone and Ray Ray and Pookie that screwed them over. They never gave decent black men a shot, and they don't actually want decent black men. They just want the plan B guy to come in, so that they can use to build their life off. That's the backup guy. The plan B guy is the backup guy. And I've warned you guys that when young white guys start going MWA in droves and join the passport bros and start leaving Western society, that's when it's going to really see a crunch. When these men start picking up, grabbing their passports and flying out, acquiring property all over the world. I told you, you're gonna have a bunch of white dudes in Africa. People are sleeping on this. Africa is soon going to become a continent that can feed itself. When you have a continent that can feed itself, that's the first big part of sustainability. Because once they can feed themselves, once they don't have to rely on others to feed themselves, that's a major move. And I'm telling you that that's the next, their population is set to skyrocket in the coming decades. And there's so much land in Africa, so many opportunities to create a business, to become a billionaire. Yes, to become a billionaire in Africa. There are many opportunities to become billionaires in Africa right now. And I've already told y'all, you're going to have a bunch of white dudes heading to Africa. I called it, I've said it. It may take a little while for it to happen, but just remember, like, if it takes, if it takes 10 years, listen, just remember, I think that you're going to start seeing more of it manifest. It could start happening much sooner than that, to be very honest with you. And even if I'm not around at that time, I want you just to remember that Angry said it first. But this is really where society is headed. And these young men, they realize that there's no opportunities left for them in the U.S. They realize they're not wanted here. They're not liked. It's in their best interest to disengage with the society as much as possible. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers in our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Men are on strike and refusing to date or marry women. What do you guys think regarding this? I want to hear your thoughts. So let's talk about them in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and share.